Hello, my name is Juan Pablo Rodriguez. I'm the Navy Education Services Specialist for the United States Navy at Navy Recruiting District San Antonio. And welcome to our 2019 summary of our Educators Orientation Visit to San Diego, California. Our guests on our Educators Orientation Visit in 2019 included guests from Waco, Texas, Austin, Texas, Baylor University, San Antonio, Texas, and Poteet, Texas. Our first day consisted of us flying to San Diego, California, getting ourselves together from there to the Navy Main Exchange where we had lunch, and then moving over to the Navy Gateway Inn where we checked in for a lodging for the next 4 days. Our day two commenced with our educators going to have breakfast at the Navy Galley at Amphibious Base, Coronado, California. From there, we headed over to Helicopter Squadron Combat 6, where they received the brief from the crew members and the pilots that are responsible for that particular squadron, and they had an opportunity to go visit some of the aircraft and see some of our enlisted mechanics working on those aircrafts. After visiting the helicopter squadron, we transitioned over to the Navy Medical Center San Diego. Part of our tour consisted of visiting the rehab center, and our educators had an opportunity to ask questions of the different departments. The second part of our tour took us to the Surgical Simulation Center, where we were able to see how doctors practice surgery to be able to perform it with better quality during the actual surgery. Following our hospital tour, we transitioned over to the submarine base where we visited the USS Alexandria. The morning of day 3, we had the tremendous privilege to visit the USS Fort Worth. Lieutenant Charlie Lopez gave us a great tour of the ship. He was an individual who is now a limited duty officer, but while he was enlisted, he was part of the commissioning of the USS Fort Worth. Our educators had a great time following him throughout the spaces on the ship, and we'll learn about the capabilities of the USS Fort Worth. Following the USS Fort Worth, we went over to the ship simulator, where our educators had a great opportunity to navigate the ship through the San Diego Bay. Our educators had the privilege also to witness and feel the different sea states that ships traverse to, and they had a great time doing it. After the ship simulator, we went over to the Pacific Beacon housing, where junior sailors are lodging at. Our educators had an opportunity to see their places of dwelling, and they had an opportunity to ask questions and see the conditions of living for junior sailors today. Day 4 began with us going to Naval Special Warfare Command, where we visited with an actual Navy SEAL officer. He gave us a brief of some of what it takes to go through their program to become a Navy SEAL. He shared some of his experiences, and he shared some of the experiences with the class that is currently there. After our briefing, we moved over to the SWIC Training Center, where our educators had an opportunity to come aboard one of their craft that they utilize in their training. After our tour, we visited the Fleet Readiness Center, which is the place where aircraft are maintained and upgraded in technology. After our tour, we visited the Undersea Rescue Command, where we were given a brief about the capabilities of submarine rescue. The United States Navy has great capabilities to rescue submariners from their submarine, and we were given a good brief about that. While there, we had the privilege to see an F-35 being refueled, and we saw the takeoff of an F-35 from our flight line. The evening of our last day finished with a barbecue on the beach and a bonfire, where our educators had the opportunity to provide feedback about the highlights of their trip and their week in San Diego. The feedback we heard was great. They had a good time. They learned about the operational Navy, and we look forward to next year. We want to thank all the school districts that were involved and participated in 2019, and we look forward to 2020.